Hey, welcome to another episode of Becoming a Powerhouse Brand. If you couldn't already tell by this intro, I do have a bit of a croaky voice at the moment, but I just felt in the right energy and it was the right time and it was something that I really wanted to share with you today. So I am on with another episode to give you some gold about stepping into your power. Like, as you know, if you've been listening to my podcast or following along on my journey, empowering other women to step into their power as their most aligned, authentic, next level self is what I'm all about. Like, it is my mission. I want to really help women to step into who they are at their in their best version of themselves. Like, it's not always been this way for me in terms of my confidence in where I'm at now, my boundaries that I have, feeling really powerful and unshakable. Like, I honestly feel like at this moment in time, nobody can tell me right now that I can't do something and it's going to affect me. I feel so focused and clear on where I'm going, my goals that I've got. I know that my vision of what I want to achieve in my business and in my life is actually coming towards me every single day. Like, I'm taking the moves, I'm taking the action, I'm working on my mindset, I'm doing all of the things that are enabling me to bring that to my reality. But it hasn't always been this way. Like, I remember just a few years ago hearing the news when we were trying for our second child. So this would have been 6.5, maybe 7 years ago now. Hearing those words, there's nothing there, and literally feeling like the world had completely just been taken from underneath me. It knocked me. I'd never experienced loss and devastation and hurt like this in my entire life. And it took me, I would say, years to get over it, really, because I actually went on to have multiple miscarriages. But that very first one, because I wasn't expecting it, our first pregnancy had gone really easy. Like, I conceived straight away, like absolutely fine pregnancy, fine birth. Like, everything was as you would call like a textbook birth, delivery, like everything. And it wasn't like we were so desperate to have a second child. We waited until our first was the right sort of age. So she was 2. We really wanted to have that sort of nice age gap. And we went on to have multiple miscarriages, but that very first one, hearing those words and feeling like, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. Like, it is my purpose as a woman to be able to reproduce. Why is my body not letting me do this? Feeling shame for my body. And just going through this period where I felt so alone. Like, I knew my mum had been through a miscarriage before I was born, actually. But I didn't know anybody in my close sort of community. Like, none of my friends had experienced it before. None of my family at the time had children. So I didn't have anybody that I could speak to that would just get it. And I've never felt so alone in my entire life. And at this time, I'm trying to run a business. I had clients, like high-end clients I was working with, and after a couple of days of basically being in my bed, unable to move, like just crying, getting really emotional and upset and almost angry when I saw other women that were pregnant. Like, if I saw a pregnant woman walking down the street smoking, I would feel so much anger inside me because I would be thinking to myself, how is that fair? Like, throughout the beginning of my pregnancy, like, I've always like avoided drink, avoided caffeine, like done everything that they tell you like to do to have like the safest pregnancy ever. So to see these people out with big bumps and doing all of the things like drinking, smoking, doing all those things that they advise you not to do, and yet I'd put everything into the first pregnancy in particular. Um, to have that taken away from me and there was nothing there. And I have never felt that sort of loneliness before. And I think that's where it all stems from, with me actually wanting to make a really big difference for other women, because I know what loneliness feels like. Whether you've been through any kind of loss, maybe you're starting your business and nobody else gets it, but that feeling of feeling so lonely, and yet on the online world, no one would know. Like, nobody would have known in the online space that I was suffering at that moment in time, because I was showing up well, not every single day at the time, but I was showing up regularly with all of my amazing content, and I would still be getting bookings coming in, like all of this stuff. It was still happening. My business was still working. I was still delivering to clients, still prioritizing other people over me because of being a people pleaser at the time. But inside, like, I have never felt so alone in my life. Um, so to then go on and have multiple miscarriages, to experience that loss again, I almost had this numbness about me. Like, The third one, fourth, even the fifth one I went on to have, um, didn't actually affect me. And I think it had just got to a point where I was like, I was almost expecting it to happen whenever I'd sort of conceived. That has really stemmed, or it had stemmed a really strong belief in me that I'm not good enough, that my body's failing me, that um I'm obviously not worthy of having the things that I desire. Like all of these beliefs formed core beliefs in me. So when it came to my business and scaling and doing all of the things that I wanted to do to achieve my goals, it just wasn't going to be a reality because I wasn't in the right headspace. I truly believed I wasn't good enough to have what I desired. And I know there are so many people that go through this, whether it is from loss or some form of trauma, illness, like whatever it is, it doesn't even have to be a really traumatic thing. Being an entrepreneur, particularly in those early stages, is lonely. Like it can be the most lonely place. And to have to feel like you need to show up on a daily basis with all this positive energy and enthusiasm, because obviously we all know that energy attracts energy. So if you're showing up really positive, happy, energetic with your business, you're going to attract those people back to you. But what you don't realize is actually deep down, your energy isn't right at all. It's not in alignment with how you're feeling. And to allow yourself to feel those emotions is a really important part of stepping into your power. Like one of the things that I did at the very beginning of my journey 18 months ago, just over 18 months ago now, when I started to identify who I was and really stepping into my own power, was to actually uncover these beliefs, which meant feeling the emotion, feeling those resistance, like the restrictions that I had for myself in my business and in my life. Like, why was I feeling those things? And actually going back and rewiring my subconscious. So if you've never looked into like belief coding is an amazing thing. Google it if you're not sure what it is. There are loads of belief coding coaches and people that will do that for you that help you to rewire your brain. There's also an episode that I did recently with Marley Rose Harris. So she does Clear the Fear, which is her own method. She does it in her app. I actually have her app, which is called the Higher Self app. I will put the link in the show notes actually if you want to go check it out. Um, and that actually has a belief rewiring system because these thoughts that we come up with, so whether you feel like you're not good enough, you're not worthy of success, you're alone, like people aren't going to buy, all of these things, these are all formed from beliefs that are rooted deep within us from past experiences and traumas, normally as a child. And the thing is, you can think really positively, you can say, right, okay, enough's enough. I'm not going to play small anymore. I'm going to invest in this thing. I'm going to do all that stuff. But the thing is, if you don't work on the deep inner belief system that you have, you're probably not going to be getting the results that other people might have that don't have these kind of limiting beliefs and these barriers. Because so much of the successful route that you will go down as an entrepreneur, when you see all these incredible women out there, they're absolutely smashing it with their businesses. The reason they are is because they know it's going to work out. They have the audacity and the trust and the confidence in themselves because they know what they put out there is going to work. Like they know their business is going to work. But actually, when you're coming from a place of lack, from fear, from having those limiting beliefs, you can't actually truly believe those things to be true, which is why it's so important when it comes to scaling your business, working on a rebrand, taking that next step in like where you want to be going, like really taking the level up basically, you need to first of all work on you. And this is the thing, this is exactly why I stepped away from my brand agency because I was getting people coming to me thinking, because a lot of them were creatives themselves, thinking that a rebrand, freshening up their brand visuals, was actually going to be the sort of secret to scaling their business and getting the results that they desired. And actually, what happened for a lot of them, or the majority of them even, they did have then the confidence to increase their prices. They did start attracting their dream clients. They did scale their business. But because they still had, or some of them still had these deep core beliefs that they weren't worthy, that they weren't capable of the success that they saw other people achieving. They were still playing way too small. And that is why I stepped away because I truly believe that building a brand, it starts from within. Building a personal brand, it has to start with you. It has to start with your own beliefs, your own mindset, your own values, your mission, all of these things, you have to work on these parts first. Because otherwise, what will happen when you come to scale, you're always going to have that voice in your head that is telling you can't or that you're not good enough. And that alone can really affect your results that you get. So you can invest in the most incredible program. But if your subconscious is constantly reminding you that you're not good enough and you're not doing the work, on your mindset and your belief system to overcome those subconscious beliefs, then you're going to be putting a restriction there. It's going to stop you with this barrier to take yourself to the next level, which is why I now love to support women to actually take that step back. Because in order to move forward, in order to level up and progress in your business as an entrepreneur, you have to take a step back to see the bigger picture, to see where you're at, to see what those limiting beliefs currently are, so that you can figure out why that is happening. Why are you feeling like that way? Because then you can counteract that with positives and factual evidence that is going to show you that that limiting belief you have isn't actually true. And the more that you reprogram your subconscious mind, the more you can then step into your next level self and really step into your power. Now, this is when everything shifted in my business, and I had a successful business. I was a leader in my field. I got multiple award wins. People knew me. Like, I was getting clients coming to me on repeat, like my dream paying full clients. Everything was amazing, but subconsciously, I still didn't feel good enough. I had still gone through lots of emotional setbacks, things that limited me from taking my next level and to create a bigger impact. Everything I was doing was one to one, so I was having to trade my time for money all the time. And things shifted when I started to scale, when I started to impact more people and really rewire my subconscious brain to focus on the limiting beliefs that I did have at the time and to rewire them into understanding that actually that's not true. Like, there's evidence that proves otherwise. There is evidence that over 90% of my clients get the results. They massively increase their income. They get the dream clients on repeat. They have the confidence boost, like they scale their business. And yet I would had still, before working on my subconscious mind, been telling myself I wasn't good enough. When actually the evidence showed otherwise. It showed I was an amazing brand designer. I was an amazing photographer. I was an amazing content creator. I was an amazing mentor for my clients. Like, all of these things, I was getting the results for my clients and they were sending me raving reviews. They were referring me to other people. I was getting invited to guest speak, but I was still telling myself I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough. Or people won't buy this. Like, why are people going to buy this? Why me? What's so good about me? But actually, when I started to rewire my subconscious and really focus on my own goals, my own vision, and stopped looking at what everybody else was doing and got crystal clear on where I was going, that is where things shifted. And that is what I really want to empower other women to be able to do, because when you step into your next level version of yourself, it's almost like a light switch has gone on. I feel like this last year, 2024, has been the year of personal development and growth for me. The next year, like 2025, is going to be massive. Like, some of the goals that I've set for myself that I already know I'm going to achieve are huge. Like, they're things that 2 years ago I wouldn't have even considered doing. And yet I'm already working towards doing them for next year. And it's just, we are our worst enemy when it comes to holding ourselves back and telling ourselves that we're not good enough. But actually, we are so capable, like, you are so capable of creating the success you desire. And the thing is, there's a big difference between having a dream board, which is just a collection of images of your dream house, your dream car, and all of these lovely things that you actually subconsciously have already told yourself you're never going to really like achieve that. That's just like in a dream world. It's not like reality. There's a big difference between that and having those exact same things on a vision board that you tell yourself on a daily basis, this is going to be my life. Because actually, if you can visualize that life, if you can visualize those results, the success that you've created in your business, it means there is already a future version of yourself that has that. It's already done. It's already there. It's already a thing. You've already achieved it. So subconsciously, you need to start rewiring your brain to know that actually every single move you're making in your business, every single step you're taking in your life is allowing you to bring that vision closer to you. You're not chasing the vision. You're not like going towards it. It's coming towards you. Like it's actually happening because it has already happened in the future. But what most people will do is keep it on what they call a dream board. And it's just there to remind you that when things aren't going great, to remind you of this is what you could have won. This isn't reality, but this is what you could have won if you were actually good enough. But we all know that you're not good enough. So just have this here as a reminder to show you of like that's what you could have got if you were in a different life. That's what most people will think. But what I want you to be doing is looking at that vision board and seeing that as this is going to be my life. Like this is happening. It's actually happening. I'm stepping into that version of myself that already has those things on that vision board. It is already a reality. It's already done. Because when you start to rewire your brain to thinking more like that, that is where the unshakable confidence will start to override any of those limiting beliefs. And you can think that that next course is going to solve your problems or that that rebrand is going to solve your problems. And yes, it might solve some of your problems, but until you work on your subconscious mind and actually feeling the emotions that you're going through, any of those limiting beliefs that are coming up, and actually working on those, like why are they coming up? Why are you feeling that way? Why do you feel like no one's going to buy your course? Why do you feel like no one's going to buy your offer? Why do you feel like no one's going to come to your event? Like, why are those thoughts coming up? What has happened in the past that has made you think that way? And what evidence have you got to prove it otherwise? Who have you got in your audience right now that you already know would come to this thing, that would buy this thing? And start to rewire your brain. Now, if you are telling yourself constantly people aren't going to buy it, and you're not working on the subconscious part of your like beliefs and to override it, that's what's going to happen. You're going to be attracting that energy back to you. So if you're putting something out there without the right energy, you're probably not going to get any buyers from it. Or if you are, they're not necessarily going to be the right ones, which is exactly what happened with me when I did my previous launch, which I talked about in the last episode, because I put an offer out there that wasn't ready, where I hadn't done the subconscious belief rewiring. I hadn't actually worked on exactly who it was I wanted in there, and I didn't have the confidence in order to put it out there in a way that made it an absolute no-brainer for my dream client, because actually I wasn't crystal clear on who that dream client was for that particular offer. So actually, the fact that that didn't work, that last launch didn't work for me, was an absolute godsend because it's meant that I was able to shift my messaging to step into my next level power even further because I feel like I've had so many level ups this year. Like I'm on, I don't even know what level I'm on, but like last, where I am at now in comparison to where I was a year ago is like insane, absolutely insane. It's the progress that it's way more progress than what I've made in the entire 8 years put together of my business in this last year alone. And the thing is, that was a choice. I chose because I'd got to a point in my business where I was like, why am I doing this? It's taking up a lot of my time. Yes, I'm making a difference. Yes, I've got big goals. Like, I've got all these things, but actually, is it really worth it? Is it giving me the freedom I want? And at the time, it wasn't. Whereas now, I have chosen to take this entire week, block this week off of my calendar to not take any calls because it's half term. The previous version of me would never have done that because they would have seen that actually, because it's half term, it means my husband is going to be able to help out more with the kids, which means actually I have got time to be able to take calls. But I didn't want to do that because I'm all about creating a life and the success that works for you and for your aligned vision. My next level self is not taking calls when the kids are on holiday. She's taken that entire summer off. Like she's scheduled everything because she knows she wants to be fully present, to have experiences, to travel the world with her family. Like that is my vision. Because actually, I want to be in that mode. I want to be that mum to my children that is fully present, that makes experiences that they can look back and say, oh my God, what an incredible childhood we had. Like it was just amazing. That's what I want them to achieve, or for me to achieve. And the thing is, everybody's vision is different. And this is why I love working with all different kinds of women, because every single client I work with has a different vision. So it might be somebody that doesn't have children that just wants to travel the world and be able to turn their business from having to trade their time for money all the time to being able to work from wherever they are in the world, making more money, making a bigger impact whilst living the life of their dreams, because it is totally possible for every single one of you, every single person listening to this episode, what your dream vision is. If you can picture your dream life with the people you love most, what does that look like? You can 100% achieve that. 100%. It's just rewiring your subconscious and adjusting your offer suite, adjusting your brand, positioning you as an authority, and you starting to step into your power as a personal brand that is going to enable you to do that. And this is the power of stepping into your next level self as a next level personal brand and standing out as that person. Because when you start blending in, when you are just saying the same thing that everyone else is saying, when you're showing up with mediocre content, you're not going to stand out, which means you're not going to be attracting those dream clients to you, which means you're going to have to constantly be persuading people to work with you. You're going to have to work with the persuasion marketing, like the sales funnels, all of that longer nurturing processes to get people to buy from you. Whereas when you start showing up as who you are in the next level, hugely confident self, then you're going to start to attract. And that's the thing. You want to attract things to you. You don't want to chase them. You don't want to be chasing clients. You don't want to be hunting for clients. You want clients to be coming to you. You want opportunities to come to you. You want doors to open that you didn't even know were there because you were just showing up in this version of yourself. Because when you start doing that, that is where your dream vision is going to start coming towards you because you will see the monetary results from doing all of these different things in your business, in your life, that are going to allow you to attract that vision to your reality. So I just wanted to come on here today. I can't believe I managed to get through this entire episode without coughing. Miracles happen. But I just wanted to come on today to talk about stepping into your power and the importance of it, and that you absolutely, no matter where you're at right now in your business, even if you just started, even if you're 10 years in and you still haven't had the results that you desire, you can shift things around. Things can happen fast. Your next level self, the results that you want to be achieving, that you feel like, oh, that might be like 5 years out, you can achieve that in a year. I guarantee it. If you're making the right moves, if you're going with your gut instead of your head, you can absolutely achieve those results within a year. And if you would love my support with this, drop me a message on Instagram at Jacquie Laws, and we can have a chat about how I can support you. I offer one-to-one mentoring, obviously my next level rebrands, but I also have my new group program, which is specifically designed for those women that are looking to scale, that are looking to step into that next level version of themselves to build a magnetic personal brand. Now, this is not a group program for someone that just wants to scale their business, do all the funnels, like do all the automation, all of that kind of stuff. Like you probably already know about this. I can obviously support you with that, but this program is designed for the woman that wants to really stand out as a magnetic personal brand, as a leader in her field, as an authority that wants to bring that vision to a reality and is going to be making the moves, whether it feels scary or not, like you're going to be making those moves. You're that person. And if you are ready to stop playing small and to start leveling up so you can 10x your income, 10x your impact, be the go-to in your industry, then this program was created for you. So I would love to chat with you. It is called the Powerhouse Brand Academy Member Mind. So it's kind of a hybrid between a membership and a mastermind. You get one-to-one access with me on each investment level. So you're always going to get one-to-one support as well as the group support as well. So if that sounds like exactly what you need right now to step into your next level power, then drop me a message on Instagram and we can have a chat to see if it is the perfect fit for you. But I hope you have a beautiful day and I cannot wait to be back in another episode of Becoming a Powerhouse Brand. Take care. Mwah. Thank you for listening to this podcast episode. If you're ready to unlock the secrets of building your own personal brand, head over to my website, baileyandrue.com, where you can grab my free Brand Brilliance Blueprint today. It's your roadmap to success in the world of branding. And hey, let's stay connected beyond the podcast. Follow me on Instagram at baileyandrue for daily inspiration, behind the scenes insights, and exclusive content to fuel your brand journey. See you there.